Is Access 2016, Module 2, Part 4. In this segment, we're going to look at importing in the table design, the structure of the table, from another Access table. And then we're going to modify that setup to make it work for our database. So we are going to begin in our Riverview database. You need to be on the external tab of your ribbon. And this time we're going to begin with the Access button since we are importing from an Access table. We want to find the database that we're going to be importing from. It's called Kelly. Yours should be under the Access-1 module folder that you copied from the Q drive. So we'll choose Kelly and open. We're not linking, we want to import. So we're going to choose this top option. And then we're going to be importing the owner table, so we're going to click on that. Now you don't want to click OK yet because the default is to bring in both the structure and the data. And we don't want the data. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on Options, and we're going to change it from reading definition and data to definition only. So this will bring in all of the field properties and the setup that we did when we defined the structure of the table. And then we're going to click OK. We are not going to save our import steps. As we discussed in the last video, you would only do this if you had to repeat this particular import multiple times or regularly. And now you can see we have an owner table. All right, let's go ahead and look at importing the structure of an animal table. And we're going to import that from another Access database. So we're going to again choose Access. We're going to choose the Browse button so that we can select the file. We're going to choose All Animals as our database. Again, we're going to choose the import. And now we're going to import an animal table. So we click on that table. Again, you do not want to bring in the data. Oh, this time, excuse me, we do want to bring in the data. So we are going to bring in this example, definition and data. That is the default, so we wouldn't have had to go to this options button, but it's always a good idea to make sure we have the have the correct options selected. Click OK. Again, we're not going to save those imports, and close. So if you want to see the difference, if I open up owner, notice I have that structure that is built there, but no data. If I open up animal, I have the structure, but I also have all of the animal data. All right, let's close our animal table. And now we're going to start making changes into our owner. So you'll notice we're missing an address. So we are going to click on email. We're going to go over to our Fields tab, and we're going to choose under the Add and Delete group, More Fields. all the way down at the bottom, you're going to find these quick starts. So what a quick start does is it adds multiple fields that are related to each other at the same time. So for example, when I choose an address, it is going to add an address line, a city, a state, a province, a zip code, and the country or region. So when I choose address, all of those fields are added at the same time. Now the next thing I want to do is I would want to make some changes. So we could make changes here in Datasheet view. We could also make some of the changes in Design view. So you're going to see we'll do some of each. All right, so we want the country region. We don't need that field. We're not an international business. As a vet, we have local business. So we're going to click here and we are going to say delete. This is going to delete that field. The other way to delete fields in Design view, if we switch there, is to come over to our Design view. We're going to click on Title, and we're going to delete the rows. If I no longer want facts, county, or notes, I can highlight all three and delete the rows. Maybe the next thing I want to do is rename some of these fields. So for zip postal, I just want it to be called zip. Maybe for the phone field, since this is not going to be anything that we do mathematical functions on, maybe I want to change that to short text. Maybe I also want to change the length of the phone to 14. That'll allow me to type the formatting in there as well. For state province, we only need state, so I'm going to get rid of the word province. And then we can look at the other changes that would be necessary. So let's take a look field by field. So owner ID, we would probably want to have a caption. So if we were going to be consistent, and the book may not do some of these, but it may do them in a different order. We're going to start out with owner ID, and we are going to type in owner space ID for the caption. We're also going to come up here and call this as a description the primary key. Remembering that this key is what actually makes it the primary key, not this description. Okay, then let's go down to the first name. So our first name and our last name, for both of those, we are going to want to add a caption. So we're going to come down to the caption field and type in first name. Do the same thing for last name. Add a caption. For the phone, we don't need a caption because it's a one-word field name. I want the same thing displayed as the column heading, so I don't need a caption. Now when I come to address, I want that to be 35. And because it was added with the quick start, it added the caption. But we really don't need it, so we can delete it. The city, we're going to change that to be 25. Get rid of the caption. Our state is going to have a size of 2, and we can get rid of the caption. Our zip code is going to have a size of 10. Again, we need to be able to type the formatting, so we're going to get rid of that caption. Email, you can see it has 50. We do not need a caption because it is a one word. If you wanted to state it some other way, you could. And now we're ready to save our changes. So let's close this and then open back up our owner. And you can see all of the changes we made to our captions and sizes. And again, you can flip into design view if you wanted to see those. Now there's a few more things we could do to make life a little easier. For example, we're going to assume that this is a vet and that they are in the state of Wyoming. And so we can come down here to the state and we can put in a default value of WY. When you hit tab, you will notice that Access will automatically put that in quotes for you because it is a text answer. We can put the default answer in there, and then when we're adding records for new owners, we do not have to type Wyoming. It will automatically fill in for us. We only have to type it if the value is different than Wyoming. Let's go save our changes, and we're going to go over to design view. And you can see now that it defaults that information in when we're ready to add a new record. In our next video, we will look at importing records into this table from a text file.